to today's live filming section. And today is Sunday, and I just feel like to teach my students again and remind you actually as well teaching every day, so we're not missing anything. It's cool, guys. At first, let me see episode. I don't know. Let me just see episode and let's just proceed. And before now, oh, okay. At first, I welcome every single person uh in this live stream section, and I sincerely appreciate the fact that you joined or you plan joining or you're in the process of joining. You guys are all welcome. All right, guys. So in today's live section, I don't know, we may not be wasting too much time, but we have something like I want to pass an information like in this tutorial, or let's just in this live stream section, we have a very vital topic that we're gonna have to be talking about. And if you're a student and you're seated already, hold your chair very tight, because everything I'm going to be saying here is going to benefit you in one way or the other. And if you know anybody that also need this kind of information, maybe just try sharing the person our name or our link, or just tell the person our name on YouTube to just check and follow us up and pay attention. You just our name, most of you know us, the UF graphics, and everything that we are doing on our platform here, it pertains to students, is a kind of students life and well-being. So you're not wrong if you see that we are teaching students life and well-being. So you're not wrong actually, because that's actually what we're doing here. All right, guys. So at first, I welcome every single person. If you're here and you see me, I'm seeing you, and I really appreciate the fact that you're here, and it's not taken for granted anyway. It's not taken for granted. All right, guys. So as I said, we have a lot to talk about today. So I believe my students can, well, they can as well comprehend well, but if you still feel like to write, actually, you can pen some things down while I'm talking, because maybe you will get to forget some things. And mind you, again, anything I'm saying here is it pertains to you. Like it's something you need to know as a student, or as a young adult, being in school or out from school. The knowledge is applicable. Like you're actually going to benefit from every single thing I'm to pass here and everything I'm to say here. So it's really going to benefit you. So if you're here, and as I said earlier, grab your chair very tight, because you're gonna be starting within a short period of time. All right, guys. So let me just quickly introduce myself. Most of you know me here. This is Web Graphics by name, and all we've been doing here, and our primary objective is just to enlighten our students, teach them more like an eye opening, not to put fear in them, and not to make them feel that the school they are going is of no use. Do you get? So it's more of opening their eyes and letting them know about some things that school is not teaching them, about some things nobody is going to even teach them. Parents are not even going to teach you. So is more like something an adult normally figures out by by him or herself. And most at times, many of these are adults, or many of these are young adults, used to figure this out very late, and by then most of their life areas has been affected already. Do you get it? Do you get it? So that is our aim, and everything we were saying here is just to avoid that in totally. And as well, you did that saying that school is a scam, which is not. So all right, guys, at first we're gonna I don't know, most of things, I don't know, just something made you like to participate or join our last like finish section, so you're not still left behind. So I'm just going to maybe tie running around the last lesson session we did, and then we'll not get into what you have to do. So let me just quickly check on the last lesson section topic. The last lesson session topic. Hmm. The last lesson section topic. Okay. Why school don't focus on skills? Okay, that was our if I'm not mistaken, yeah, yesterday's live streaming section topic, yesterday's stream session topic. Remind I'm still coming to this today's school, like I'm coming over, but I'm just a kind of to refresh your mind on yesterday's one. So if you're here and it looks interesting, or you feel that this thing sounds interesting, you can equally just check it back. It's just the previous live stream session before this one. All right, so that's for that. And the topic, okay, the topic I'm just trying to say here is why school don't focus on skills. That was our last live session yesterday, and we said a lot. So I'm going to just try saying few things about what we say, and the just the vital things I'm just going to pick. And under it, at first, we define the goal, or just let's say what school is meant for. You get, at first, remind you the yesterday's stream was the reason why school don't focus on skills. And we said under it, school at first, their objective, or let's say what they are made for, is to a kind of equip students how to read and how to write, all of those stuff. So actually it's not their fault if they don't focus on skill. Actually it's not their fault. And on the stream as well, we as well state down of some reasons why they are not focusing on skill. And one of the reasons we stated there is school were not designed for certificates. School were designed for certificate, not the modern world. Now school were designed for certificate. We said on that note that if your schooling actually school is expected to issue you a certificate, maybe at the end of a particular period, or within a specific period of years or time, depending on what you're studying. So that's the primary objective, or that is what school is expected to uh, or issue you a certificate, and not the modern world. Not the modern world is here in this area, and it pertains to what we're saying is they are not going to be a kind of telling you about what life looks like after school. That's not their mind. That's not what they are made for. That is not their objective. That's not their goal, and that's not what they are set for. Do you get it? So that is one of the things that necessitated, or one of the things that made it like one of the things we stated, that this is the reason why school doesn't focus on. And again, we said school are exam oriented, not skill oriented. Now exam oriented, I mean, in this context is school is to prepare you for exam. Anything, just like lecturers telling you, giving you areas of consideration. Hello boy, do this one, learn this, teach or read this aspect, read your notes, all of those things is more of exam oriented. They're not going to tell you, bro, what skill do you like? What skill can you do best? What's like how you seeing your life after school? All of those stuff is not their fault. So that is why they're not focusing on skills, because they are more like academic. They are more like equipping you academically, like in more of knowledge than equipping you in other areas of your life. So you get, so they are more gonna be teaching you about academics, writing, prepare exam, and all of those stuff. And again, sorry guys, again, one of the things that make school not to focus on skill is most teachers were not trained to teach skill. Now I said a lot on it. This remind you, I'm just trying to run around the last training session. I'm still coming to what you have today. So that we're letting you maybe people that were not opportunity to join, to just check on it. It really makes sense. I mean, it really makes sense. So one of the things as well that makes school not focus on skills is most teachers were not trained to teach skill. And we said on that note is what we said there is most of our teaching areas, or most of our teaching patterns, is a kind of theoretically, like more of the things that they are teaching in school is more of writing and all of those stuff. Even, and we even said, even for instance, people that are learning computer, maybe computer engineering or anything, it's imagine that a student that or a graduate that studied the computer engineering doesn't know how to own computer. It's very very possible. It's very very possible. So on that note, it's not their fault, because that's it. Most teachers were not trained to teach skill, because they were not trained to teach skill when they went to school as well. Their own this thing taught them how to read, write, how to, like, subjects and all of those stuff. So they were not trained maybe with equipment, or let's just say with some machines. Do you get, or some in some areas practically. Do you understand it now? So that is one of the things. And as we said, uh the painful truth students discovered too late. Under that note, we said the painful truth your student discover late. Too late, not even late. Too late is that one, the them depending on certificate alone is not enough. Is a very very great risk, because you, or that's your plan or whatever, like that just have in mind, or maybe just that your certificate alone, it can fail you. That's not actually what we were praying for, but things can happen, a lot can cause a lot to happen. Do you get? So when such fails, and you're this student that doesn't have a support system, and you don't have any other thing to rely on, or any other thing to beckon on, is really going to be affecting you. Do you see why is a kind of painful truth? And a vital illustration can be maybe a student that graduated, maybe within 2 3 years of graduation, you have not gotten a job, or when you applied, you're rejected. Do you see? Now, if you're such students that depend on a certificate, and such is happening to you, you're going to feel frustrated, you're going to feel rejected, you're going to feel depressed. Like, a lot is just going to start happening to you. You're going to start questioning your worth, you're going to start questioning the world. I don't just know. You're going to be like, somebody somewhere is manipulating my life. Do you get it now? So these are all things that are capable of happening. And that's the essence of our this thing. And all of these things is under why school don't teach skills. Why school don't focus on skills. So that's for that. And I just try running around. So if it interests you, just considering checking the previous stream before this one. That's where everything lies on. We said a lot on it, and hmm, it was very very nice and cool. And if you're to listen to it, you're gonna gain a lot of knowledge as a student, as a young adult. All right, guys. So we start with so much of our time. Let's just get into what we have today. Okay, so under that note, what we have today. Guess what? You cannot guess. So under that note, what you have today is very very cool. And as I said, we might not be wasting a lot of time and all of those stuff. So what we have today is top life skills school ignores part one. This thing is very very powerful. This section, or let's say this our topic, this one is very very powerful. Let me repeat the skills, life skills, get it to life skills school ignores part one. Yes. Maybe tomorrow we are gonna be releasing part two, a kind of that, but this is part one, and everything I'm going to be saying here is a kind of life skills school ignores, life skills school is not teaching, life skills school feel that is not necessary, life skills nobody is talking about. That is what we're gonna be talking about here. Do you get it now? So as I said earlier, you can maybe it's just some things, but I believe you can comprehend well. That's, I give you a thumbs up. All right, guys. So let's just proceed. At first, we're gonna be defining our life skill, then we will define skill, then we define school and define ignores. Then we're gonna collide it, like join it together. Then before we proceed, okay, just follow me as I go. Do you get it? Just follow me as I go. At first, what is life? If you're to ask now, or if you're being asked what is life, we all know life. You can see that it is just the life we're living, like existing as a human. Like if you're really existing, actually you are alive. So that's, it can be referred as life. Do you get? So or skill, remember we were trying to bring in life skills school ignores, life skills school ignores. That's what we're trying to bring. And at first you're defining it serially. We said life is just more like being, existing is more, it just can't be said as a life. Then skills is more like an activity, or just something that one can possess, or one can equally do, maybe by hand, a kind of that is more like, I don't know, it's just more like creating something. It can be referred as skill. Do you get? So it's more like creating something. Do you get? Just something around that area. Then school is just like where we normally go, or just say it's a system or established by government or and some individuals to maybe enlighten students or equip them academically, and to a kind of to bring them up knowledgeable knowledge as in knowledge aspect and all of that. So that can be referred as a school. Then what is ignores is just like a situation or a state where something is being ignored, where something is not being cared for, where something is not like, it's not being remembered. So it can be referred as ignored. You get? So if we were to combine these now, or life skills could ignores, or we can tell you that it means it's just like the necessary ability, skills, the necessary things that you should, as a student, you should as an adult know or start acting upon, that school is not talking about it. And yeah, we said school ignores it. I'm relating it to society. Society as well ignores it. Teachers, motivators, motivational talkers and be speakers, they as well ignores it. So this is why we were making on the strength of that, that's why, and the reason why we're making this stream, and to teach our students all of these things that nobody's really talking about, because it will really help them a lot in their development, both or maybe personal development and career wise, all of those aspects. So under that note, we said decision making skill, like, remember we were talking about life skills school ignores, and it's part one because is a kind of lengthy. There's a lot of skills that relates to an adult life, that relates to maybe an undergraduate life that nobody is talking about. So that is why we cut it down to part two, because it's plenty. But in today's we're gonna be briefing it. You get? So at first we say decision making skill. Now let me explain. At first, school is more like, as we have said in our other sections, that school is more like teaching you how to read, how to write, how to pass exam, prepare you, how to speak well, how to develop you in knowing things. You get? So that is more or less, that's the work of school. Now, decision making skill, everything I'm saying here is what school is ignoring, because that's our subtopic. Life skills school ignores. So everything I'm saying here is everything that is part of the skills that school ignores. So at first we say decision making skill. Now decision making skill is more like you being able to handle something. At first, maybe decision making skill can say, or is you being able to handle situation, you being able to handle pressure, you being able to uh work even under pressure, make some vital decisions, make some vital plans, like make some things within a specific period of time, within a short period of time, or like create some or massive results within, or just let's say uh with small, or I don't just know, but make some things happen within a particular, or let's just say a short period of time. You get? So it can be seen as a decision making skill. Now you not having this ability will really affect you if you're a student, if you're a young adult. And hmm, I'm seeing everybody here. So you can be dropping. I really appreciate the fact you're actually watching and it's not taken for granted. So let's proceed, guys. So I said this every okay. At first I said what we have today is life skills school ignores, and under that we said decision making skills. Now we say that school is not going to teach you how to make decisions for yourself, how to handle things, how to take some responsibilities, how to, because nobody, school is calendarless. Let me just say, I don't know, I know it's a wrong English, but let me just put it that way so that you get it. School is a life is a calendarless, because calendarless just like it works with no schedule, like nothing is planning, itself for you. You're the one to figure it out. You're the one to make some plans. You're the one to structure yourself and your plans very well to suit you. Do you get it now? Unlike school that you're being issued a calendar, or let's just a timetable on how exam is going to be. There you're gonna make some necessary preparation on it. There, or let's just say in life, nothing like that. You're the one to make everything, and you're not even going to be informed that so is going to happen. So that is why, as a student, you're to be a kind of prepared. Do you get it now? You're to be a kind of prepared in all of these things, and as well know it, because when it happens, you're not going to fall. Like, you're not going to feel depressed. Like, you're still going to stand. Even if it affects you, it's not going to affect you that much than an average student. You get it now? So that's for that. On that note, that's why you say decision making skill, school is not going to teach you this thing. It's not going to teach how to handle pressure. It's not going to teach how to make some decisions. It's not going to teach how to make budgets. It's not going to teach how to save money. It's not going to teach you all of these. These are more like personal things that you're gonna be figuring out. And most students are making mistakes in this because they were not taught. Just like decision making skills, a student that was and all of that, living anyhow and all of that. So guy living anyhow and all of that, and such thing happens to graduate and maybe happen to live or maybe handle life on its own, like live separately and all of that. That sort of such student or such adult is going to be making a lot of mistakes, and is going to be a victim of plenty something. So there is a lot of emphasis that they should get all of this thing to their head, because school is not going to teach them. That's number one. On that note, guys, we also have time management in real life. Time management, there is saying that time is money. Okay, but in this our stream, in this our section, we are talking about time management. And as well, time is money. I not disagree with that saying or that quote. I also believe that time is money, because and time is a kind of a golden opportunity that or any adult, or let's say any young person, should not or be useless or play away with. Is meant for like is meant to be utilized very well, and in a more appropriate way. Do you get it? So time is a precious, or just like time is not your friend. There you said last year that time is not your friend, because even now it's not your friend in the sense of, even when you're sleeping, time is going. It's not waiting for you. Even when you're eating, even when you tell yourself let me rest more, time is still ticking. So on that note, that's why they say time is not your friend. Time is not by your side. So time management in real life, school is not going to be teaching you this. School is going to tell you time for exam. It's not going to tell you life is not telling you time to get prepared for maybe for a financial, I don't know, maybe it's just something of that nature. So life is not going to be telling you that. School will issue a calendar telling you exam is starting so date. There is nothing like that in life. So you're to a kind of be prepared as a young adult, as a teenager, as an undergraduate student, as well a student, because everything I'm saying here can equally happen even when you're still schooling. So you're not left out. So you're as well, or it's also relates to you. Do you get it? So that's for time management in real life. Then communication and social skill. Now I'm gonna say a lot on this. At first, if you were to ask what is communication skill, now I can say, or we can say, a communication skill is more like an ability for one to communicate effectively and more efficiently. You can say communication skill is just like the ability of one to equally or just fully express his or herself, like to communicate effectively. And as well, we said a good communication requires, or is always gives feedback, that kind of. So there is always a feedback. So in communication, in okay communication and social skill, Now, at first, we said communication skills, and that is what we just try explaining. And we on that note, we said communication skills is just the ability for one efficient way, and as well get feedback, because feedback it was give you or let's say what tells you that you really communicated well, or your opponent, or let's just say the second, just the second person, or just say the second I will not say object, let me just say second person gets your message, and replying is a feedback for that. And in this sense, you're talking about communication and social skill. Now, at first, what's social skill? Social skill is just like the ability for a person or for an adult to express yourself, like socially, I don't know, just something like that, something of that nature. Social skill, like relates to people, talk, defend yourself wherever you get yourself, or just all of those stuff, like have a lot to maybe get to associate with people, like just anything that pertains to social, that's a kind of social skill. So you're gonna have those ability, and as well be competent in them. And let me just combine this, which is communication and social skill. It's more like you being able to communicate and produce results, like being able to, I don't know, it's just more like, even if you're a brilliant person and you're not able to communicate effectively, your will I say your brilliancy, I don't know, but that is not making sense, because for you to actually be uh be addressed as a brilliant person, is just for you to, like, the ability for you to communicate, like you're actually gonna be communicating. It's just like, I don't know. So if you're not communicating, if you're not really communicating effectively well, it's not gonna be actually working. Alright guys, so on that note, the other, okay, under it as well, we have emotional intelligence. Now I'm gonna be saying a lot. Now, what describe, or what tells, or let's say what does it mean, like what what is emotional intelligence referring to? At first, emotional intelligence is just like you being psychologically, or let's say mentally and emotional strong, or let's say strong, or let's just say prepared, or just say, let's just say I don't know, it's just more like you being able, or the ability to do things, like the ability to handle things. Now, e just like if an average student, if something happened, okay, e just like two graduate that graduated from a university, and both of them maybe graduated with a particular result, maybe first class, and they happen to check out for work, and unfortunately they were rejected. Now, a person that is being taught, or well equipped, or very strong mentally and emotionally, is going to see that as a feedback, actually is what life normally gives. So he or she is going to see it as a room, or as a chance to persist more, to check on other opportunities, to work on, maybe to work on oneself. Maybe he or she was not able to answer some questions, or defend some things, or solve some problems. Do you get it now? So such student that has that kind of mindset is going to work and try more. Moreover, the other person that is a kind of emotionless let me just say emotionless, or let's just say the other person that is not well equipped in this aspect, or mentally and emotional strong, or mentally and emotional, or not strong, is going to start seeing it as a kind of what life is issuing me, what I am. He or she is going to see it as I'm a failure. I cannot be employed, like, and he or she is going to see it as a room to quit, as a room to start questioning oneself, as a room to feel less, and all of that, as a room to or look down on oneself. Do you get it now? So these are different mindsets. Remind you, I just gave an illustration to people with a particular certificate, like the same grade, happen to go after a work and they both were rejected. Now the other person sees as feedback, a room to shine more, a room to develop more, or the other person sees as what life is, what is he or she is a failure. So these are two students but different view, different mindset. Both of them are not seeing things in a particular perspective. Both of them are actually seeing things in a different. So in the more positive one, so that's what we're talking about here, is for students to start seeing failure is just more like a roadmap, or let's say what or strengthens you, or let's just say what you actually encounter during or on the process of success. Because if success is easy, as we said in one of our live session, it will not, or like, people will not always fail to, because that's is not actually easy. That's why a lot used to fail. And that failure, you don't or you're not expected to take it to heart. You're not expected to think that that's all, or let's just say that's what, or you got to, but you're expected to or see it as maybe a feedback, or just, let's say, a normal thing, just more like a normal thing, or just a room to still strive and persist more, still persuade more. So that's what a student that has a strong emotional mindset is gonna be seeing it as. So you're not expected to see failure as something that is your own, because that's not actually your own. Like, it's just normal, and when it happens, actually it really affects someone. But when you're emotional and mental strong, when you're mentally and emotional strong and ready, it's not really going to affect you that much. So that's for that. And that's why you said emotional intelligence. Now, emotional intelligence with me here is just you having the ability to handle pressure, having the ability to handle situation, maybe a kind of, it's more like innate something. It's more like your innate abilities, or innate, I don't know, just about, it's just all about oneself. Just like when you're angry, like being able to control your emotions, even maybe when you're happy and all of those. So it's all about emotions. And you were talking about intelligence. This is how to, like, you being, or you knowing how to actually take care of it, so that it will not cause hazard, or it will not something else. It's just like, let me just give a small illustration here. It's just like you you're a hot temper person. Now let me now use you, you're a hot temper person, and you happen to work in one big organization like that. Just an illustration. Now maybe a co-worker, or a kind of a colleague tries or offending you, or did something that annoys you. Now, instead of you to calm down, or let's say instead of you to maybe report, or let's say if instead of you to maybe just try telling the person this I don't like, maybe you will just start a kind of conflict and all of those stuff. Now, when it escalates, it's going to really end maybe into something else that uh you are not gonna be expecting. And it can even warrant your sack, like your resignation. Like, you're gonna be leaving the organization. Maybe when everything is figured out, you're gonna be asked like, why didn't you report, and all of those things. So the ability for you to handle that, maybe by leaving such premises, or by reporting, or just by keeping quiet, is also talking about emotional intelligence. So this is very, very necessary that every student, or let's just every young adult know this. And it's going to be like in plenty. It's not even one. It's equally going to help such students maybe in one of situation, just to resolve things. You get. So that's for that. And under that, you also have money management, financial awareness. Now, remind you, everything we are talking about here is under skills, life skills that school is not teaching. And you have said decision making skills, that school is not going to be teaching how to handle your pressure, how to make some decisions that is going to help your life, how to plan yourself, how to a kind of structure your life, and all of those things. That's number one we said. And we said school is not going to be teaching you that. And we also say time management in real life. School is not going to tell you how to manage your time, how to utilize it, how to map out things, and how to set out your goals. School is not going to be teaching you that. It's going to teach you how to pass your exam, how to score well, how to make good grades. So that's what they are set for. So it's not their fault. All of these things that they are not teaching you. So if you're a student, you ought to start getting them in and start knowing them. Do you get now? And still start working on it. And as I we say, communication and social skill. Skill is not going to teach you how to associate with people and or like communicate effectively and more efficiently. It's more like skill, and it's more like a word, or it's more like uh word something. So you're to know it, you by yourself, like you're to get to know it. That's just you're just to get to know it. And you knowing it is gonna help you. And most of the times many people know all of this that we're talking about late, and by then a lot or some areas of their life have been affected already, and that's just what we're equally avoiding now and now. So that's the essence of our streams, and that's the essence of everything we'll see here. On that aspect, we say emotional intelligence, that school is not going to be teaching you how to handle your pressures, how to deal with people, how to relate with people, how to or a kind of get to handle, or maybe when you're angry, how to get or how to manage tempers and all of those stuff, like how to manage all of this so that you not it will not escalate to something that will lead you to something that you're not expecting, or lead you to something cool, like just something disastrous, all of those stuff. So something of that nature. And it should really help you if you're a student and if you're a young adult, because you're actually going to encounter all of these things. So if you're not strong in all of this, if you're not well equipped, it's going to uh affect you, and the backside is not actually ending well. So that's why we are passing this information now and here. All right, guys. So under that, money management and financial awareness. At first, money is just like exchange rate, what you can use to buy another thing in replacement of something else. Now management is not more like you utilizing something, using something well and more efficient way. Now financial awareness is more like you being aware of your finances, like you having the knowledge of how money is like how money goes, like or how money comes in, or just say how money is being, I don't know, just something extra, like how money is being run. Get it now. So that's more like that. So it's the ability of you knowing how money really works. So a student that is not equipped in this area, a student that is not taught, a student that is not enlightened, is not gonna know how money is being is how money works. He or she is gonna be, maybe during school times, he or she is actually maybe being sponsored or being I don't know, being sponsored by parents, or let us say relatives and all of that. Now maybe if he or she still continues with that life, maybe when he or she is out, maybe during there he or she was spending much, or let's just say was spending lavishly and without calculating. Now if you take that habit, or that if you still exhibit that attitude when you're out, it's usually going to affect you, because then you're more like on your own. So you're not gonna be earning 50,000 and you're gonna be spending 45,000 or even 50,000 entirely, because it's gonna affect you. Now it's gonna really affect you even before the next month. Do you get it now? So you're to learn how to actually manage money, and a kind of be aware of your finances. That's what this note is talking about: money management and financial awareness. So, and we said money is just more like an exchange rate, something you can use in exchange of something else, a valuable item as well. And financial awareness is more like you knowing how finance work, how money works, how you can actually put it in things that are very very important, and as well can yield results. So it's more like all this now under this. And we are saying if a student like if a student that, if you compare a student that's still in school, maybe being sponsored by some certain people or parents or relatives, and such students is being a kind of funded with money, and he or she is actually living a particular, or let's just say a particular lifestyle, and maybe when he or she is out, he is still on that lifestyle, is really going to, so he or she is expected to adapt, make some changes, and he or she is not gonna be spending lavishly. He or she is going to be calculating before spending. He or she is going to get to know, or let's just say know what to purchase and all of those stuff. Now, because you cannot, and we said you're not expected as a young adult to be earning 50,000. That is what you use for an illustration, and you're gonna be spending as so 50,000 maybe for your stuffs, and you're gonna be cashless during the period of weeks that you're gonna work till the next month and all of that. So it can really affect you as a young adult, and it can really still affect you as a student. So that is for that. And under this, we noted a lot, like we noted some vital things to elaborate on. So on one of them we noted is money ignorance keeps graduates poor, not lack of education. Now you can be well equipped, you can be a professor, you can be a library, I don't know, you can be an author of books, but money ignorance keeps graduates poor, not lack of education. We're not talking about education here at first, or let's just say we know that you're well equipped, so you're not poor academically, you're poor financially. Do you get? So money ignorance, now when you ignore how money works, how to spend, how to calculate your, how to structure your bills, and how to make your purchases, so you're gonna be poor academic, or you're gonna be poor, like you're gonna, okay, you're gonna be, you're gonna lack, poor, not lack of education, okay, make you poor, you're gonna be poor as as an adult, and your knowledge doesn't even have any part to play. So this is more like a kind of, I don't know, as a knowledge as so, and as an extra knowledge that you're to adapt to your life and get it running together. You get this, guy. So that's for that. And also what you noted there is your emotions can either destroy you or discipline you. Now under that note we said, okay, it can destroy you in the sense of, maybe we're gonna use that illustration where you did, maybe somebody, you were employed to an organization, like you were working, a co-worker offended you or did something that you didn't like. Instead of you to report, or maybe or let's just say, or keep calm, or just move, or just ignore, you're gonna maybe start reacting, and maybe it finally leads to fight, and you guys get to destroy some work equipment and escalate, the issue escalates, and it's gonna result to something else, maybe uh resulting you guys leaving the organization. You see now, it's that's saying that, or your emotions can either destroy you or discipline you. Actually in that situation it has really destroyed you, or let's just say it has destroyed your future, because you have actually, or you're being fired, you're not gonna be paid, and is a kind of bad name, and it's still going to affect you if you don't correct it, or if you don't make, or if you don't feel that it is important to look upon. Do you get it now? So that's for that. And you ought to know all of these things and start acting on it. And in one of the like, session as well, we stated things that can one can actually check and maybe adapt the one that works best for you. Maybe if you're angry, maybe it's to move out from the place. Most people, okay, we said most people's zone is just to move out from that particular space or place. Most people just to start playing music. Most people just to keep calm, like a lot, like there is a lot of things that one can actually do to calm him, like to calm itself down, like when faced with a lot of things, or let's say when faced with this kind of situation. So you have to know the one that best works for you and start acting upon it, so that once when such situation comes, you're not gonna, like, it's not going to be escalating, and you're still going to stand your ground. You get that? So and you highlighted there is communication creates opportunity that grades cannot. Now, at first, we say communication is the ability for you to, or for one to effectively and efficiently communicate to, or pass an information clearly And clearly, I mean, here is you're gonna be receiving a feedback, because the feedback is just a proof that you someone like someone on someone like someone gets your message, a kind of that. So that's for that. And we said it creates opportunity that grades cannot. Now opportunity here is just more like when you communicate effectively and efficiently, like it creates opportunity that grade, now you having a lot of grades without you communicating sense, or without you being able to pass your feelings, or let us say your knowledge to people, or let us say to a particular set of people, that is gonna create, or is it creates more opportunities that having a lot of grades you get. So you having a lot of grades or good certificate is not defining you, or is not okay, but the ability for you to communicate well and more efficiently together. So that's gonna create more opportunity than even grades. That's what this highlight is talking about. Then I think that's our last highlight. Resource was bad. Let me just try refresh it. So what I say there is wrong decisions through low grades. Now, what I'm trying to say here is, as for wrong decisions, is just the ability of one making some decision or taking some steps is going to affect his or her life, maybe in or it's more like something that's gonna affect you and be seen or referred to as a wrong decision that was from external sources, or maybe family, or let's just say relative or community pressure. Do you get? So it can be referred as a wrong decision. And on this note, we say wrong decisions ruin life faster than low grades. Now, what was low grade? Low grade is just maybe a low score in academic, maybe all of those stuff. So it cannot ruin your life than wrong decisions. Wrong decisions can hinder you or can just destroy your life within a specific period of time. Just like somebody that may head, or your head no, let me use your people's language, your head no fit carry, and you went and took what's it called, this sniper, all these strong hard drugs, and maybe after taking it, you landed inside gutter, and or maybe you landed inside car, or just like you just, I don't know, all of those that can actually take one's, because on that note, you don't know yourself, you don't even know the planet that you are. You just see yourself in different realms. You just be here, there is no water here, you'll be shouting, I want to swim, I want to swim. Do you get that? All of those rubbish is a kind of wrong decision. Maybe you just decided, or some friends led you to it, to take such hard drugs. So it's a wrong decision. And on this note, we said it destroys life faster. Or it can destroy life faster than even low month, or let's say just feel sober, you failed a particular course and you're gonna move on. But wrong decisions is causing a lot harm than good. Alright guys, so you're to get to know things that we stated there, and knowing it as a student is really going to help you a lot in all areas of your life, and it's going to really help you maybe in making your choice, in getting your life. And all these things you're saying here, if you're a secondary school or student, like you're not left out, because you can start adapting, you can start putting all of this in practice. You can if maybe if you're a university student, you're still in school, you can start making some plans, you can start learning some skills that are not going to or hinder you from your studying life. Like you can just start adapting to certain things that is not, or let's say certain things that are still going to help your life, certain things that are still going to maybe or even yield income for you in later years to come. Do you get all of this? So everything I was saying here, it relates to, and so developing yourself, or maybe self-development is more like academically, but self-development, we are on our note, or let's say we're talking about being able to create or being you being able to solve some problem and not only having a big certificate. That's not, we said, is a very very great risk for a young adult, or let's just say for a student. But to merge it up with some abilities or some skills that even your result or certificate fails, you're going to still stand, you're going to still invest, or you're going to just start up with the little knowledge you have about such. You're not just going to feel stranded, or you're not just going to feel like you're not going to just feel or start feeling depressed at that early stage, because it's just more like this our current era. Like most graduates finish NYC, they're gonna be confused. Most of them will be like, what am I? Other people will be like, should I take up this low job and just continue? Meanwhile, other people will be like, should I just start up a business? So you not knowing this as a student, if when you're done with NYSC, it's really going to affect you, because you're gonna be stranded at that moment. You're gonna be like, you're just going to be stranded. You don't even know what path or let's say road to take. But moreover, if you're a person that get some skills, maybe, or entrepreneur, like get to start up some business while you're still in school, and maybe you try developing it when you're still in school. Now it's really going to help you, because even there's a lot of opportunities. So you have to utilize it very well and make some lay some structures even before you're out, because uh you said that life after school is more like something else. Now when you're not prepared and when it hits you, it's not always it's not always ending well. So you have to start laying some foundation in regards to that. Foundations I mean here can be starting up a small business, as I said. No, that's not gonna affect academically, like something that you can still go up with, like you can still merge and run together. And just something light, it's more of skill, or just a more of light, something flexible that can actually work for you. So you, and it depends on your location, and it depends on what you can actually do. Do you get it? So being a student is not enough, and you having a certificate, a good one at that, is not as well enough for you to give or for you to prove, or let's say for you to say that that's why you were able to learn skills. So do you get? So the emphasis of students or getting all of these things is not, it can't be overemphasized, because it's very very requisite, very important, very necessary. They know it and they should start acting upon it, the earlier the better. Now, as we said, a lot of people, it's very very painful that they get to discover this thing very late, and they get to have the idea very late, maybe when they are out, or when they have even spent some years, even when before while they are out. So they are going to discover this thing very late. Now by then they have already started feeling depressed. Family, people, and all of that. Maybe someone that we're not pursuing to get work within 2 3 years after graduation is going to feel less of himself. He's going to be compared with other people. That's when you're gonna see parents be like, you Mr. Okay, Emmanuel has traveled, this one has started a business, what are do crazy things, is going to drive you to see any as an opportunity or as something to consider. So you also get all of this in a ground. Even when it gets to you, it's not going to affect you. It's not going to someone is sending something. I'll reply you. I'll actually reply you guys. You can just drop anything. You're not left out. I'm seeing you guys. Alright guys, so we are just rounding up. So I said all these things is necessary that students should start paying attention to it, very very necessary. And it's just more like their life after school. Nobody is teaching this, nobody is going to tell you. And we said in one of our sessions we discussed about self-discovery, and we said there is more like you knowing what you can do. It's more like you discovering your innate ability, what you can solve, the kind of problem you can solve, what you can render to society, what you can create. Like it's more of yourself, like figuring it out. Nobody is going to figure it out for you. Now when you get all of these things, when you get the knowledge, when you actually figure it out, you're going to start acting upon it. Now acting upon is just more like somebody that maybe you'll be like, I can sing, oh, I love sing, I love music. You're going to start learning. start equipping yourself more on it, start getting to like start pressing more on it. So in other way around, you're gonna get deep, and as well, it will get to a certain point, such skill or such ability is going to start paying you, because you're gonna be well on it. You just more like maybe you're learning the skill, and you on it, you're going to start editing for for content creators, and you're gonna still be earning, even if getting employment or getting employed then what, you're not going to beg for food. You're as a student, as and that, because your skill is actually fetching you money, your skill is actually fixing your bills. Do you get that? Now that's for that. So I don't know if you'll be watching, I don't know, just consider giving us a thumbs up, and if you've or if you've tried enlightening you on something, do you have graphics, you can as well follow us in all that social media handles, every all social media handles we are active. You have graphics, and at first we have not started uploading over those places. Will soon start, but here on YouTube, your daily streaming, enlightening you guys on matter of school and matter of personal life and growth. So if you can maybe refer us to somebody that you know that needs all of this fit like you, do get it, because all this was saying here, you really need it with immediate, like they need to start acting on it. There is no time and there is no that on their side, and that's why you say time is, even when we are eating, even when we are resting, even on our leisures, time is still going. So if you're not utilizing it and you're not making mapping out things before your time gets to, it's really going to affect you. And research, you being in university is a kind of a great opportunity and a kind of goal that every student must, all of these aspects you're actually going to use or misuse or your being in, because said is more like a great opportunity, because there you're more like alone, and you have everything, and get to start laying some foundation, and some foundation we mean maybe get to start putting some things in ground that can really be a support system for you in nearest futures to come, or in nearest years to come, that can as well like really help you maybe in generating some when your plan B fails, because that's what brings, that's why you're suggesting it as a kind of maybe your certificate, that's your plan A, maybe getting a good job. But if it doesn't happen, like you're gonna have a support system. Maybe if you're a person that started a small business, you're going to put more energy and maybe establish it in a bigger way, and even you can even earn more than an employee. That's just facts. So that you guys are watching, and I appreciate and welcome everybody that have been watching over here, and the fact that you're watching is not taken for granted. And as well, you can drop anything, you can drop your name, you can drop your institution, you can drop your skill, like you can just drop anything. We'll see you, and we appreciate the fact that you're even here. So that's for that. And right now, right the moment, you're going off and be to fix other things. So love you guys. Tomorrow for two of uh ignores, that's tomorrow, maybe from 12 to down. Just check on us, you're actually going to see us. So see you tomorrow stream in tomorrow's section, and maybe try referring us to somebody, or just try telling somebody to tell somebody to tell that person about this, and let them maybe get to join and hear some things they should start knowing or get to start acting on as a student. All right, guys. So you're backing off, and if you're here so far, I appreciate, and I'm giving you a thumbs up, but you're not seeing that I'm giving you a thumbs up already. All right, guys. So that's for that.